Okay, so we're back working on the 6-wheel drive Land Rover Perentie ambulance, and today we're doing battery stuff. If you're new to the channel, I have 2 of these. I also have an 8-wheel drive amphibious ATV, but we'll get to that another day. Now this is a continuation of a video I did previously. The link will be below. Basically what happened, I was in the field and one of these AGM batteries that's about 3.5 years old dropped a cell, and so when we eventually got it out and got it load tested at some good friends of mine at the electronic barn, there's a link below to them, they load tested it and ended up figuring out that it's really only load testing to about 8 volts. That's well below what it should. To give you some perspective, this is a 12 volt starting, 24 volt accessory system. There are 2 alternators. Let's have a look at that. Alright, this is our deep cycle cranking battery, and for the 12 volt system, this is our 12 volt alternator, and because it's a diesel we have a vacuum pump on it. And this is our 24 volt alternator. It's a fixed stator, so the excitation coil and the stator coil are both on the outer, and this is just a laminated steel core with 2 bearings. Very reliable, but good for 100 amps, and you need some thick wire. In any case, this is old battery. I put the connections that I use for the trolling motor on that. I put them on this knackered battery, and I put my good trolling battery in. So it sort of helped things survive till we got home. Anyway, these 2 guys, thanks to Electronic Barn, the HVT86Ds from Superstar, are going to be the ones we put in. Okay, well I haven't really bothered to put the screws back in things yet, so we should be able to just lift this pin out and slide the whole bracket out. Here we go. Okay, now what we need to do is turn a few things off. So for a start, inverter goes off. We're going to pull all that stuff out now. It's our mains lead for our charger. We're going to disconnect solar panels, turn them off. This is the auxiliary connection. We're going to do this one-handed here. That feeds the oven and the boiling vessel up the back. Now we need to go around to another side here. Move our wheelie bin / tripod out of the way. A number of things wheelie bins are handy for. That's the Aussie term for those bins, by the way. In the front here is a bit of chaos because we were in the field and needed urgent access. So we're going to fold our seat forward. And down here is the 24 volt distribution box. Presently we can see 26.7 volts. Flip our breaker off and drop back to 0, which is what we want. We should be mostly isolated. I think we're pretty good. Now this is a 24 to 12 volt converter. I am going to pull the fuse for the other accessories I've got in here as well, just to be sure. Now the reason I say welding things to battery terminals is quite often there's enough room to reach the shield or between terminals and whatnot with spanners. Be careful doing this. Often if I wasn't using ratchet spanners, I would tape up this whole thing or dip them in a rubber dip-on coating. But these have got a few little chunks out of them where I've done that more than once before. I've learnt that lesson the hard way. Alright, retaining brackets off. Let's see what these batteries look like, volt-wise at least. I need to get myself an internal resistance meter one day so I can check the health of batteries better. We are reasonably confident that this battery at least is knackered. We're at 13.1, so this one might be a little healthier than the other one was. This one's 13.38, but actually let's do that the correct polarity. Sometimes it makes a difference to how it reads. This, I suspect if we load test the 2 of them, it'll be very different, which I can do with the trolling motor. Anyway, let's get these out and swapped over. These long handles make life actually more difficult than you might think. Alright, old one out. This one's our older but still good one. Now I might sprinkle a bit of bicarb around in the bottom here too, because there's obviously been some acid damage in here. In fact, I probably have some rust converter. Spin you that way. One box. Now these have terminal spacers on them. We'll take them off and keep them because they're bloody handy. I actually bought some of those the other day. Alright. good. Everything's wet. Battery bracket. See if we cause a short out. Nope, they fit well. He was bang on the money with the size. This is we're going to be careful because this is grounded. Although this is the negative terminal, not the end of the world in this case, but the other side we will have to be careful. Way to grabbing my real spanners, and then I saw these sexy things. I thought they look like they'll do the job better than the proper tool. There we go. That looks good. Now, these are up nice and firm. Okay, there we go. Now we want, on this side, I think our ground's already sorted. This is our temperature sensor. We'll give that a bit of a contact clean, not that it's an electrical contact, it's just a thermal one. There we go. So that's our temperature sensor going on there. Where's the spanner? Nope. That one. I think it's probably safe to say at this rate that drone flying is probably off the books today. But you know, it might get better, we'll find out. Now we're putting a couple of new terminal bolts on this. Just because I've got them. And I like to put new stuff in wherever possible. Hence the whole 2 new batteries thing. However, I think 13mm is more common. This battery terminal is creeping up towards it, so if we didn't get any arcs, I think we've properly isolated everything. Alright, let's do things up. Then I can go and dry off for a bit. We're going to rat through our spare parts here and going to find our 2 fuses. We're going to go in here and put one fuse back in, another fuse back in, and these 3 are spares. Put our fuse cover back on. 24 to 12 volt regulator. It's our inverter which is coming on. Now this sun has suddenly come out nice and brightly, so what does that mean for our batteries? That means about 3 amps going in. However, they've come up to 27.6, so they're probably fairly well charged. We'll put a load on that and see how it goes in a minute. For the next bit, need to go back into the cabin here. We're at 0 volts. Let's turn our main breaker switch on. Up to 27.3. Our volt dial is working down there, analog meter. Put that back up. Okay. We're looking good. Putting about 3 amps in. I think we're going to do well. Let's turn on a fixed resistive load and see what happens. Let's do you for a bit. Turn you on. That LED sometimes doesn't work. Oh, it could be because I've disconnected all of that. Alright. Is that on? We'll find out. Let's go around here. Do we have a load on? We're pushing 10 amps in, so yes, we have a load on now. That's good. Alright, one last thing I'm going to do. Even though we've got solar, we're going to put it on the multi-mode charger for a little bit. Right, we'll let that go on to an absorption charge for a little while. We should have nicely topped up batteries when we're ready to go. Unlike this GoPro that's at about 10%. So I need this probably in a few hours to go and film some trains. So I'm going to get the GoPro sorted and we'll see you in the next one. I hope it was fun.